everybody. I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to Lookback. Lookback is a series of videos that I do where I talk about reviews that I did a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago this week. Except, as I've been for the past several videos, not doing 10 years ago because I was in the middle of moving to America 10 years ago. But we'll get back to that in September. But we'll look at reviews I did a year and 5 years ago. We'll start with a year ago. I reviewed Dog Rush. This is a pretty bad game. It's a kid's game about mixed leashes where these leashes are on. You have to like untangle them. Does untangling stuff sound fun if you have a cord for your iPhone or Android? I would imagine you don't think Untangling Quartz is fun. That's what this game feels like. That's not a good thing. Bon Appetit. This is a little micro game about scoring different cards. It's okay. It's not bad. It's a micro game, just a few cards that you auction on and win. I liked it well enough. Just it is a bit forgettable. Cartographers, a role player tale. Now, this was just nominated for the Kennerspiel, very, very widely regarded game, to the point where I feel like when I show here my ranking of 7, people are like, you don't like the game. I do like the game. I just didn't love it maybe as much as everybody else, but I still found it to be fun. You flip cards over, you draw a map, you're making your map up. A really neat idea and a strong entry in the roll and write category. Catacombs Conquest. Since playing this, I've then played a little bit more Catacombs, and I still love Catacombs a lot. Catacombs Conquest is more of a team versus team. It's a smaller version. It's good, just not as good as the big regular Catacombs. Eco's First Continent. This is a fairly involved bingo style game in which you'll be drawing things from a bag and placing out tiles. It's similar to another game, Rise of Augustus. This one has a lot more going on, but if you're looking for a crunchier bingo-esque game, you'll like Eco's First Continent. I reviewed a couple of kids games that are fantastic. What to Wear, a game in which you're putting outfits on little animals, but you're using clear cards and you combine colors and stripes and things to get what's needed. It's a really neat concept. And Sherlock Express, this is a game in which you're trying to figure out who done it by slowly eliminating different tiles that are out there. And I love that concept. They're both really neat. I reviewed Funko Verse. It's been a year now since Funko Verse, and I'm so pleased, unlike many of these games, is there going to be more content released. Funko Verse has had plenty of content released. Still really enjoying it, and I suspect when I look at this again in 5 years that you will see this become an 8.5 for sure. Periodic, a game of elements. Great game about the periodic table. Doesn't sound like it could be made into a game, but it's neat as you move around the periodic table trying to accomplish goals. The short summary of this one's a little confusing. Watch the full review. It's pretty neat. Filler. I mentioned Bon Appetit in the beginning. A micro game. Filler is kind of a micro game too. That's also about the same thing, about making desserts. But Filler is just such a neat idea, a hand building style game that I really was just taken with. And Old West Impresario. I really liked Old West Impresario. This is a dice building game where you're going to be rolling dice and where you're building a little western village in front of you. You're rolling dice to get more buildings and or activate the buildings that you have. Pretty cool, neat game that I think has been missed by a lot of people, but I really liked it. 5 years ago, I reviewed Game of Crowns. This was obviously based on Game of Thrones, and this is nowadays when AEG makes a game, it is high quality and likely good. This was not high quality and likely was quite bad. Even the parody part of it just didn't work at all. Firefly Shiny Dice. Man, I know a lot of people love Firefly. And this game from Upper Deck sounded like it was really good, a Yahtzee-style game, push your luck. It failed to really work at all for me as a game. Rattle Battle, Grab the Loot. This is from Portal Games. Now, this game was one that sounded like a cool idea. Roll some dice inside the inside of a box. Those dice then become like ships, and you attack each other with them. So it's like a miniatures game mixed with dice. And the problem was there's too much going on. It didn't gel as a game. Melee. This is a little mini game along the lines of the Tiny Epic games or 8-Minute Empires. And to that end, as you notice, no one talks about it now. It just has kind of faded compared to those two competitors. Dragon Farkle. It's Farkle with some dragons. Works for kids. For me, I found it to be okay. Heebie-jeebies is a game where you basically vote on what's going to annoy somebody the most. I don't hate that idea. I mean, it doesn't look very good. When you look at the box stuff, it looks like a mass market game because it is. But it's not terrible. I'd play it if there wasn't many other party games around. Monster Laundry. You're putting clothes on a line that you're holding between two players. That's a funny idea. It works well for kids. Bad Beats. A bluffing kids game, actually made from the same people who made Ascension. I think this was kind of their idea to get into kids games. I think this may be one of the few entries in that one. World of Smog on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Now, this is a cool universe, and it's a cool game. This is one of, don't get confused. There's a couple games set in this universe. One's a dungeon crawl. This one is not. It's rotating wheels and stuff. It's good. I enjoyed it, but as time goes by, I found myself not really having any desire to go back to it. It's very esoteric and weird and unique, but I don't know how often I would want to play it. Arcadia. This is not Arcadia Quest. This is an amusement park building game. There's not many good amusement park games. This is a nice, solid card drafting building game that I enjoyed. Artifacts Incorporated from Ryan Lockett. This is a dice building game where you're rolling dice Yahtzee style and you're using cards to get better and better. This is one of his underrated games, I think. A lot of people talk about it as bigger games, but I quite enjoyed Artifacts. Queen's Necklace. 5 years ago, I took a look at the Come On reprint of this game, originally from Days of Wonder. The Come On reprint's nice. Queen's Necklace is a neat game in which the cards will go down in cost each round. You use these little rings. Really cool idea in the Three Musketeers universe. If you ever run across a copy of this, I think you might enjoy it. And then Mage Wars Academy. This was the sequel to Mage Wars, but a smaller game. And honestly, I think I like it better than Mage Wars at this point. Mage Wars is neat and cool. A big board, you move around, attack each other. Mage Wars got rid of the board, turned it more closer to Magic the Gathering, but still where you have your own spell book. And I really liked it a lot. Alrighty, well, those are the reviews that I did 1 year and 5 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been Look Back on the Dice Tower.